That's it. After 3 years, we're not going back home. I lost all my memories. Yesterday I was speaking with my dad. I told him, Daddy, I miss this old days. A year ago he was telling me that everything's gonna be okay. But yesterday he was telling me that the old days have gone. We have to accept it. That's it. He was so angry and furious.
Here you are. You are sat on your chair in front of your television.
You are in your favourite chair.
You adjust yourself in your chair so that you are perfectly comfortable.
You are alone. You think about how there are other people watching their televisions too. You can't see them, but you know they are there. You think about the first television and how it would have been black and white, and people would have huddled round it, and it would have been such an event. The first ever broadcast was over 80 years ago.
Faintly from a distance, there comes the sound of a departing train. The man with the flower in his mouth is seated at one of the tables, silently observing the company.
There must be people still alive who watched it.
Reach out your hand and place it a few millimeters away from the screen. The thing you're almost touching is flat. It spreads out wider than the diameter of your palm.
You wait to feel the tingle of electricity between you and it.
It shines brightly.
When you look at the snow of your untuned television, you are looking at the remnants of the Big Bang caught by the aerials. The sound of the fuzz and the crackle of the static is partly photons from the explosion that brought the universe into existence.
It wants so much to tell you about what is happening. What is happening now?
Now rest your arm.
It will be so great, it's really great to have someone outside care about you. Or maybe if you have this friend and he keeps saying hello every once in a while, maybe I will fall in love with him because I will be so happy to have this someone in my life. But it will help in this time in work. Hello. I'm William. Can you tell me your name?
Me? I'm Monty. I'm Ernesto, I'm 15.
My name's Daniil, I'm 16.
Basically,
we all got this email about this parallel project thing about Syria, and it sounded interesting. Yeah, that's how
we have a couple of questions to ask you. So.
Yeah. What's your favourite memory of Syria as a country before the war started?
What have you been doing with your time?
Did you ever feel like you just wanted to give up?
Yes, so many times. I can't handle it in Damascus because you can't do anything. Just sit at home and see people suffering. Everything is a mess, you know? Even though it's your home, but in some point you can't feel at home anymore.
Who are you staying with now?
Okay. I will send Esther and her husband and everything. You want to meet them?
Yeah.
Actually, I can bring my little niece. You can see. She's so sweet and she's mad, but right now she's still a little bit shy. Look, when Alma was 3 days old, we left our home. So whenever we look at Alma, we can remember the day that we left our home from, you know? Yeah. It will be always something remarkable. Right now she's starting to make a conversation, you know? Something that I can't understand in Greek. What's your favorite smell in London in this time?
Well, we really like the smell of Krispy Kreme. When we go
Donuts.
there.
Might not know.
It's a
Donuts.
It's a donut store.
This is the balcony here. I love this view. I love it so much. It's just this tree. And I got this present yesterday. It's really weird notebook. You can see this notebook. You can put it like this. It is thick, you know. It had these. Maybe I really needed to write my notes maybe on a car. You can put it like this. And that's it. You show me.
An appalling war crime that's taken place in Syria. Well, I have a very strong
Put simply,
view that we need
is it
to
in
take
Britain's
a
national
tough and
interest to
robust
maintain an
approach
international
around the
taboo
world.
about the use of chemical weapons on the battlefield? My argument is, yes, it is.
And frankly, he cannot say to the House and to the country, this does not change our stance on Syria, this does not change our involvement in the Syrian conflict. Because frankly, it would, Mr. Speaker, and the House will need
You wonder if David Cameron likes the look of his own face. You wonder if when he's tired he thinks maybe he should have been a race car driver or a swimmer. It comes back to you in that moment. A memory you'd almost entirely forgotten.
Excuse me, did you know that 8,000 children have been killed by the war in Syria? Would you like to brush it under the carpet or sign a petition which could help Syria?
Not right now, sorry.
Have a nice day.
Did you know that 6.8 billion people in Syria need aid?
That goes to the government and helps them send some money to Syria.
I'm doing my own thing.
Okay.
I find this too complicated just to sign something here. It causes a lot of problems too. That's a bit easy. Are you from the Young Wick, from the theatre?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, I'm from London, but I was born in Jamaica. But that's not the point.
Do you think you got people to care doing the Hyde Park thing?
The people who wanted to care. I just had people ignore me.
Don't care in a video.
Show people someone who's like, instead of us just standing there in Hyde Park, there's someone who is there in Syria. They should have been the one telling their story.
That will have the effect that we've had with Reem of having the whole experience of Syria feel more personal.
What if everyone sort of knew someone in Syria, like, even if you know, like, since I did it, you notice it in a newspaper whilst before you just kind of pass it off. We somehow made them know someone there. It would make them think more about it instead of just being shouted at.
How do you make a story where everyone thinks it's about them?
Why don't we just hypnotise them, just to make them think that, like, put memories of Reem in their head, you know, make them think they know Reem.
You look at your reflection on the screen in front of you. It seems like you're there, inside.
Fragments of your memory return.
You know a girl from Syria?
You met the girl on a camp.
I met her at a music festival.
You
by
met
the
at
sea.
the wedding of one of your school friends.
She always had her camera with her. She wore a headscarf. Her English wasn't that good, and so you ended up not really speaking much. One day there was a snowstorm. The next morning, you go for a walk on your own, and you see that she has gotten into the sea with all her clothes on.
She sees you and she is clearly embarrassed. You feel bad for embarrassing her.
You walk on quickly and wave in an awkward way that reminds you of your dad.
You talk to her at lunch.
You ask her about her country and where she liked the best.
She told you about the Arabain on the mountain in Damascus, where 40 saints are buried, and where pilgrims come from all around the world to see the exact spot where Cain killed Abel.
You asked her if she believed it, and she said,
Sometimes.
For a year or so, you send each other photos and bits of music.
Then you forget to write, and she does too, and you don't hear from each other anymore.
You don't hear anything about Syria. And you don't hear anything about what it's like over there. Until now, when you see it on the news and you make a decision to get in touch.
بعد كل هالوقت بالبيت انتبهت بين الجمعة والأحد في سبت.
يوم 12 الشهر
11
قد ايه صفية للمرجعانية؟ قد ايه؟ لإمتى؟
لأول الأسبوع.
بعد كل ليل طويل كان دائما يطلع الصبح.
You send her a little film of your balcony. Some pigeons have nested in the electricity box. You say that you're not sure if that's hygienic having them there. If there are rats or something, you probably knock them off.
You tell her about a film you watched where a massive monster tries to bring balance to life on Earth by trying to kill these
You tell her about a
aliens,
film you
which
watched
are
where a
planning to
Hollywood
take
star pretended
Tell
to
her
be an
about a film
alien
you
and
watched
picked up
where
real
a group of
hitchhikers.
old men go on a pub crawl.
She sends you a little home video.
I wanted to show you my family. It made me realize I hadn't taken out my camera for months. They smiled at the camera. I'm going to try and film something.
مرحبا يا روان.
أهلين.
وين ماما؟
ليك يا ماما. أهلين.
يا نايا قولي باي.
باي. باي. أطيب بوسة لي لح بحبك.
دي لي حبيبي.
حبيبي لي
وجوههم بسيطة وقادرة تضحك للكاميرا بسهولة. الكاميرا عم تقربنا من بعض.
يا ألما.
I felt like it's not fair. I can't stay here and find and see my life is going to the hell. So my reaction was to hold the camera and film everything. It was a way not to see how the world is cruel. To see things from outside, to be like a viewer. The crime to hold the camera. An armed person came to our door and told us to see all our phones. I was afraid to be arrested.
She says that she still has a playlist on her computer with all the music you sent her. You ask her which song of the ones you sent is her favourite, and she says probably Wu-Tang Clan's Gravel.
She says probably Beyonce's Love on Top.
She says probably Skinny Love by Bon Iver.
You listen to that song that afternoon and hope that maybe she's listening to it too. She sends you a Fairuz song. She tells you what the words mean. She tells you what the words mean.
In the days of cold and days of winter, the pavement is a lake, and the street is drowning. The girl comes from her old house. He told her to wait for him, so she waits for him in the street. But he leaves and forgets her.
A stranger passed by, and she gave me a letter. My beloved wrote it with tears of sadness. I opened the letter, but the words were missing.
Days passed and the years drew us apart, and the pages of the letter were washed away by the rain.
You want to write and tell her how much you love it, and finally you do. But for the first time in weeks, she doesn't write back that day, or the next. And so you keep sending her things in the hope that maybe she's just busy, or there's been a power cut, or maybe she's just forgotten.
What's the most realistic ending, do you think?
Sad ending.
Yeah, I think the most realistic ending is that they just split off. There's always going to be the large majority of people who just do nothing.
What if we got Reem to call in through Skype, like she did with us, but with the people at the show?
Yeah.
Is it realistic?
To call her on Skype? Well, we did it. If you remember the first time we did it, we literally did just sit in that corner, call her, and that was the first time we met Reem. We were told about her. So it's less people going, oh, look at that person. It's more, oh, that's an actual person. Oh, that sort of thing. The liveness is mainly important just so you know it's real. Something recorded our brain that says it's fake and it's been made for us. And Skype is the realest we can get with Reem, other than using lastminute.com and flying to Syria.
America has to be the world's police officer, and then to fight against communism.
Like, I don't know how God like creates things. I don't know. Sometimes God sends some people for you to remind you about yourself, because lately, before the email, I was crying. It was everything was, I can't stand anything. And when I sent me something, oh my God, I started to remember myself. I started to remember the person who, like I am. I started to think about the future and all the photographs and my cameras and all about me. I started to think about me. I know at some point we are going to make a play, but at some point it's something that to remind me about myself, because being in time of war, it's really hard to keep the person live. It's really hard.
تصدقي؟ تحسي انه اللي صار معنا تحسي ما له طبيعي.
ليش ما له طبيعي؟ كل العالم بصير معهم مثلنا.
يعني غريب، ما بتحسي انه يعني ما بتحسي يعني ما بتتصوري بحياتك انك توصلي لهيك مرحلة، انه تطلعي من مدرستك. دائما انا كل يوم الصبح كنت كتير بحالة يأس كتير.
لا
ما بعرف اليوم الصبح قعدت اسمع اغاني، يا سيد ما في عندي امل، ما عندي امل، ما في شي عندي امل. كنت اقول ان شاء الله بكره احلى، كل يوم بقول بالمغرب بكره احلى بس ما في امل. صرت كل يوم قبل ما انام ما عم اتامل، بس عم ابكي. اتذكر بيتي ما أحلى، كيف كنت دايما استنى الباص وانبسط وانا قاعدة عم اسمع فيروز كون، بشرب قهوة الصبح، بسمع زقزقة العصافير. حتى قهوة صرت اقرف منها، لانه مو هي طعمتها اللي انا بحبها، مو هي ريحة الياسمين اللي انا متعودة اشمها، مو هو صوت فيروز اللي كنت اسمعه. اللي بيموت أحسن من اللي عم يتعذب كل يوم. كلاتنا عم نموت بس بشكل كتير بطيء، حتى إنه صار الشكل بيزهق، شكل بيتعب، شكل مقرف، ما في شي له طعمه. صار كله مثل بعضه.
أنا خايفة وملخبطة ومو أنا مثلها. يا ريت فيني كذب عليها وإلا لا تزعل، كل شي رح يكون منيح. يا ريتني حسسها بالأمان، بس أنا مثلها خايفة وما بعرف شي.
كيف بس
بوسي. بيبي.
Here you are.
Your back has taken the shape of the inside of your armchair.
You are looking at your television screen.
It tries to show you things behind itself, each pixel in its exact place. It wants so much to tell you about what is happening. What is happening now. And now. And now. And now.
And you are completely still.
And the little screen does all the dancing for you.
Do you remember ever asking someone to dance? Please, stand up.
Turn away from the television screen and go behind your chair. Soon you are all in a circle that faces inwards towards each other. There is nothing to do but look at the faces of the people around you. You find that some of them you know. You find that some of them you don't. You catch the eye of a stranger, and together you make an awkward smile. You look away and hope that at some point someone is going to tell you what to do. Please step forward with 2 small steps. Now let your eyes close.
Have you done it yet?
Ever so slowly start to spin on the spot.
Did you ever ask someone to dance and they said no? Did you stand alone and dance anyway because you didn't want them to see you were embarrassed? And after a while of dancing all by yourself, you closed your eyes and you forgot you were alone. Your feet knew what to do, and you could hear music, and it was loud enough and beautiful enough that was all you needed. You felt powerful somehow, like your body was yours, and your breath was yours, and this moment was yours, theirs, ours.
Open your eyes.
If your eyes were a camera, now would be the time to press record. Now would be the time to go out onto the streets and to film. Now, when the snow started to fall, and when you could see your own breath, and the faces of those around you had begun to glow a little, and you couldn't hear the bombs, and you couldn't hear the planes flying ahead, you would have done that too, you think. You would have pressed record, and for a moment, it would have all just been a story.
ما بحسن. ألو ميكا. Can you hear me?
You now have a choice. You know someone is trying to get through, but you're busy and you're not sure what you'd say. The door is now open. Or you can stay within the TV screens, make yourself comfortable, and take a few minutes to say hello and talk about nothing and get back to your day in a little while.
ما بحسن. ألو ميكا. Can you hear me?
Two years ago, I can remember that I wanted anybody to talk, maybe, or to talk. with my drawings. I lost connection with my things and stuff, and I become someone else, which I don't like, but I think it's a suitable situation for a person who's going through a lot during his life. You know, right now, as we are living in war, but yes, I think it's some kind of surviving. I know one day I will look at the mirror and I will remember the person that I used to be. And I will see myself that I'm going through what I want to do. And I'm doing, but you know, I don't know if you remember, if you understood me. Well.
If you're thinking about someone and they don't know it, do you think it still matters?
Lovely.
Now, in Damascus, a man stops looking out of the window and goes to the mirror.
Now, in Damascus, an old lady puts her shoes on and ties her laces up tight.
Now, in Damascus, a woman packs her bag and makes the choice to leave her family behind, to find a country where she can make a future.
It is 4 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and 6 days since Syria stopped being safe.
You are in the theatre, and the show must end at some point. When you leave, the time on the screen and off it will continue. Was I sleeping while the others suffered? Am I sleeping now? Tomorrow, when I wake or think I do, what should I say of today?
Was I sleeping while others suffered? Am I sleeping now? Tomorrow, when I wake or think I do, what shall I say of today?
Yeah, the whole live Skype call can't really happen.
Is she okay?
Yeah, so basically she's just got too much going on in her life right now. Also, I think, I don't know about everyone else, but the first emails that we exchanged were quite light-hearted, talking about her cat, like joking around and stuff, and not wanting to go in and ask how are things with the war, because that would just make it into like a really difficult conversation and not necessarily one that she'd want to have. But then it's like there's only so long you can talk about the light-hearted stuff, and I think maybe like if she doesn't reply, like for whatever reason, it's difficult to then send another email keeping on talking about jokey stuff. I think then you have to say something a bit more like asking if she's actually okay, and that is so difficult to do, especially if you feel bad for not writing sooner, or like now, I just feel really bad to email and be like, hi, like how are you? Because I know she's not really doing well, and I just feel really bad for not writing before, so, but you can't really write being like, I'm really sorry.